Algorand 2021. Hello everyone, thank you very much for organizing this important conference. No pandemic should stop progress or international cooperation. I'm here to share with you the latest Algorand blockchain technology. But first, I'd like to reassure all those who are suffering from COVID-19 today in China, in the United States, in Italy, all over the world. I'd like to tell them and reassure them technology is on our side. Our blockchain technology is on our side. We are our own technology, and our technology is at our service. This pandemic will end, and then, with our sacrifice, our cooperation, and our technology will make our world better and more just. And now, for Algorand Technology. Algorand is an alternative blockchain built from first principles, because sometimes we should start from scratch rather than patching something that does not quite work, and is developed with advanced technology. For what? For all the aspects of a blockchain: the consensus, the smart contracts, the interoperability between chains. Let me start by recalling Algorand's consensus technology. First of all, it proves the trilemma false by ensuring security, scalability, and decentralization altogether, thanks to two key technologies of Algorand: cryptographic sortition and verifiable random function. Second, our consensus has no forks. It enjoys immediate transactional finality. Every block that is appended to our chain is guaranteed to stay on the chain forever, and therefore you can start relying on the transaction of these blocks right away. And this is thanks to Algorand's unique Byzantine agreement protocol. Moving on to Algorand smart contracts, we must admit that traditional layer 1 smart contracts are more aspiration than technology. As humans, we should have always higher and higher aspirations, but at some point in time, we should support our aspirations with real technology. Otherwise, our aspirations will remain pure illusion. With traditional layer 1 smart contracts, the problem is that they obstruct the blockchain critical path, and they are very expensive, very slow, and very fragile. Thus, Algorand has taken a different approach to smart contracts: layer 1 smart contracts and smart square contracts. Let me start with layer 1 smart contracts. What are layer 1 smart contracts? First of all, they are smart contracts. They are executed at the consensus level, which is the most secure in every blockchain, but without slowing down block generation. Algorand layer 1 smart contracts guarantee the same efficiency and security of ordinary payments. Let me give you an example. Simultaneous exchange. I have an asset X that you want, and you have an asset Y that I want. How do we swap them? Should I send first my asset? Should you send first your asset? How about a trusted mediator? No thanks. Trusted mediators are costly and rare. If you live in China and I in the United States, we will not know anybody, any third party, both of us trust. Then what? Traditional smart contracts? Well, I just said that they are slow, they are costly, they are fragile. Forget it. How about hash time locks? Well, never mind what they are, but they are also slow, and by the way, they are vulnerable to denial of service attack. And then what? Then in Algorand, we do simultaneous exchange as a single transaction, as a layer 1 contract, in a few seconds, and without you having to write any new line of software. As simple as 1, 2, 3, swapped. Next, correlated payments. I pay you, that may be simple. But what if we have linked, correlated payments? I pay you only if you pay her, only if she pays him, etc., etc., etc. Such correlated payments do occur in supply chain, and they are very hard to implement. Nobody wants to be the first to send their money. In Algorand, we allow as many as you want correlated payments in a single transaction, in a few seconds, and with 0 lines on new codes. Next, asset tokenization. You have built an entire office building. Now you want to tokenize it to enjoy immediate liquidity. And you can do it in a single transaction, in a few seconds, by writing 0 line of codes, and you specify who is the issuer, how many initial tokens, how many future tokens, who has the right to freeze these tokens, and so on and so forth. And about auctions on a planetary scale, conducted transparently so that everybody can see what the bids are and everybody realizes that a fair price has been reached and who won what. And collateralized loans, where they transfer automatically the collateral in case of default, etc., etc., etc. Layer 1 smart contracts satisfy 80% of our needs for smart contract. But not all. There is still a lingering long tail of smart contracts. Contracts that are too big, like for data-intensive application. Contracts are too long, like for computation-intensive application. Contracts that are too weird, like CryptoKittens. Contracts that are too complex. For all these, Algorand has architected smart square contracts. What are they? They are layer 2 smart contracts that are, finally, really smart. Smart contracts. And how do we achieve that? By separating the consensus protocol from virtual machine execution. Smart contracts essentially execute complex user-defined computation off-chain speculatively. They have built-in layer 1 smart contract structure for atomic state transition and use programming languages with built-in security feature for modular structure. And their architecture is virtual machine agnostic for great flexibility. They are coming to our chain in 2021. And now to Algorand interoperability technology. Why we want blockchain interoperability? Because no blockchain should be an island. The world outside is always larger than the world inside. If you build a blockchain that is incapable of interoperating with other blockchain, you'll be the first prisoner of your own castle. The aspiration behind chain interoperability is very clear. Everybody enjoys the freedom of movement of moving his own asset from one chain to the next. In fact, assets want to go to the blockchain where the best tool to transact them are. Blockchain interoperability allows you to enjoy the best from each blockchain because different blockchains will be better at something. There are unlimited benefits of blockchain interoperability. Unfortunately, again, there has been a big difference between aspiration and real technology here. And chain interoperability has been more aspirational than technological right now. Today, such interoperability is slow, is costly, is complex, and is even dangerous. That's why Algorand has architected a two-pronged approach. First, allow interoperability among chains that use Algorand as their consensus mechanism. And these are the Algorand Co-Chain. Second, we are going to allow interoperability between totally different chains with totally different consensus mechanisms. And this mechanism is the Algorand decentralized token bridge. Let me start with Co-Chain. What is an Algorand Co-Chain? First of all, it's an independent chain. It is private and is permission. It can choose its own validators, it runs its own consensus, and talks to the main chain. Second, uses Algorand as the consensus protocol, as the main chain does. And why? What do you mean why? Because a co-chain of Algorand enjoys the scalability, security, and decentralization of Algorand, enjoys the layer 1 smart contracts, enjoys the transaction finality and no forks, and enjoys actually interoperability. Interoperability between, say, in this example, a blue co-chain and the black main chain. You have an asset A in the blue chain and you want to transfer to the main chain. Why? Oh, because you want to sell it at an auction. And everybody knows that the more bidders participate to an auction, the higher the price. So it makes sense to transfer where there are most bidders, to open to the entire world if you want, and then repatriate to your blue chain the money that you generated. And here is another example of interoperability between a blue chain and a red chain. The blue chain has a blue asset A, and the red chain has a red asset B. They want to exchange it. They transfer immediately to the main chain. Here they are. Thanks to the layer 1 smart contracts, in one transaction they exchange it and then repatriate the new assets to their own respective chains. And there is no double spending. Why? The blue chain cannot any longer exchange the blue asset A because A is no longer blue. The main chain remembers that asset A is now with the red chain. Okay, I got it. The main chain is a hub for all its co-chain. Wait a minute. Are blockchain hubs a new idea? No. In fact, everybody talks about hubs, blockchain hubs all over the place. If you really want to stand in line, you better take a taxi because it is a long line. But the main important question is, are all blockchain hubs, all these hubs, equal? And the answer is no. The truth is that a hub is only as good as the benefit it offers to its own users. Let me take the example of Airline Hubs. There is a big difference between an airline hub that offers free ice cream to crews and to passengers, and a hub that allows you to have mechanics to serve your planes, hangars to store your planes, restaurants, hotels for your crew and your passengers. That is really the hub that you want. So in blockchain space, which hub do you want? My take is where the technology is. And in my case, the technology is cryptographic sortition, layer 1 smart contracts, mass square contract, etc., etc., etc. And now for the second prong, decentralized token bridges. That is, Algorand answers to main chains with different consensus that they want to interoperate. How different these chains can be? Very different. Remember, we have proof of work chains, delegated proof of stake chains, bonded proof of stake chain, pure proof of stake chains like Algorand. And that creates a problem. And the problem is, it becomes hard to interpret each other's blocks. We essentially speak different languages. What to do? Unfortunately, the first temptation when there is something complex is centralize everything. So all of a sudden says, dear blue chain, dear main chain, dear red chain, do you want to interoperate? I'm here for this. Trust me and allow you interoperability. Let's start right away. I am trusted and I'm telling you that a blue asset A has been transferred from the blue chain to the red chain. And now that you know, you can start bidding on the asset. Bidding starts $100 million. Really? Before I trust you and start bidding with a minimum bid of $100 million, I want to make sure that this asset, where it is now, has really been deleted from the blue chain. And unfortunately, I cannot see the blue chain. And even if I see it, I don't know how to interpret what is going on. To me, it looks a very black, mysterious cloud. What? Do you dare to distrust me? Yes, I do distrust you, centralized creep. Thanks, but no thanks. The first temptation of the centralization, pure and simple, should be dismissed out of hands. Second temptation is, okay, you don't trust me, but how about you must be trust 5 of us? Because if 3 people out of 5 tell you that a blue asset is now becoming a red asset, now you surely trust us. And by the way, here we post our little money to make sure that we are punished if something strange or something false we declare. Really? Give me a break. A truly functioning decentralized blockchain is going to secure trillions of value. In dollars, in yuan, in euros, is a big thing. So when you have deals of this possible size, what the hell guarantee can you get from 5 people with very little pocket money there? Nothing at all. So the Algorand philosophy here is very simple. She who transfer assets from a blue chain to the red chain first must trust the blue chain. Of course, because she keeps her assets there. Second, she must trust the red chain. Of course, because she wants to transfer her assets to the red. And the philosophy is she should not trust anybody else. Only the chain themselves. And that is the philosophy. But this philosophy is backed in Algorand, as usual, with technology. And the technology here is compact chain certificates. These are miniaturized, very small certificates that are interpretable, parsable by anybody. And they represent the will of the entire chain. Not what a witness or 2 or 5 say about what the chain wants. It is the will of a chain in its entirety, compactified to something small and easy to interpret. Coming to you in 2021. Let me sum up Algorand today. We have been launched and being in operation since June 2019. We have more than 6 million wallets. We have more than 9 million blocks, in fact 10 million blocks right now generated. We have 500,000 real transactions a day, not I transfer from my left hand to my right hand to make sure that it looks a lot of transactions. 500,000 real transactions per day. Today, more than 400 companies leveraging the platform, and 3 main technology releases once every 6 months. And one such a release was in fact Layer 1 smart contract. I find that that's very important because life is about intelligent adaptation. And the same is true for Algorand. When we stop evolving, we are essentially dead because life is continuous change. And what you see is what you get is immobility. And immobility is death. We have to evolve, and Algorand will evolve to satisfy not only the immediate needs of our community today, but the needs of our community tomorrow. Finally, let me say that we are very proud to be part of the BSN project. We are very proud to be one of the first 8 blockchains to come to the BSN. We are proud to bring to China our layer 1 smart contracts. We are proud to bring to China our co-chains and decentralized token bridge. And we are proud to bring to China our smart contracts and all other technology we are developing. My take is that blockchain will improve the world, but are sophisticated mechanisms and require sophisticated technology. Technology is quintessentially human. Ever since we came down from the trees to develop our first tool, we became more human, not less human. Technology is the realization of our aspiration. Technology is our response to the increasing complexity of our world. Our legal world, our financial world, even our physical world. Our ability to survive will depend on our ability to produce ever more sophisticated technology. Technology has been our past, is our present, and will be our future. Long live blockchain technology and long live international cooperation. Thank you very much and see you in person soon.